Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Mike's Garage. Quick shout out to a couple guys, Luis and John. Thanks for subscribing. I do appreciate that. VM Dairy was a long time ago, 52 years ago for me. We're in Vietnam. So I'm not sure how long ago it was for you, but seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? And Blue Duck, I agree. It's hard to respect people that didn't step up, but you never know what their motivations were. So we'll move on. Hey, listen, I got some good news. We did get a hold of Steve. He was part of a drone team. We did get an interview with him, and we're going to go right over to the other studio. And here's part one. Stay tuned. So I would
Yeah.
like to ask, how you wound up in the service. What branch of service did you go in? Did you enlist? What happened? And how did you wind up being you drone pilot, right? You went to drone pilot school or something like that. And if you could explain as much as you can about that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you did anything else besides drone pilot, or you did anything before that. But just if you just go on about your experiences there, and if we can get like 15 minutes of good conversation, then I can split it up into 3 5 minute, what do you want to call them, shows or something like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I'd like to try and do, and hopefully I can get some other guys that would want to come on and tell me the same thing about what they did, what they experienced, and go from there. You comfortable with that?
Sounds great.
All
Yeah.
right, good. Okay, well, I'd like to say thank you for your service and thank you for taking the time to come on to Mike's Garage and talk to me. And I'd like to introduce everybody to Steve. Steven is a ex. He's a veteran, and he's agreed to come on and tell us some of his stories. Steven, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Also, likewise, thank you for your service. And yeah, just from, I think, my perspective, we kind of look at the old heads as the guys who really had to rough it. So, just hearing your experience about Vietnam, very interesting. And yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for you and all the Vietnam vets out there.
Well, thank you very much. It was very different back in the late '60s. Today we have all kinds of different gadgets and electronics, which we didn't have there. So it's a much different world. But what I've found fascinating is I've known you for a few years. Really haven't talked to you that much about your experiences, as you find most veterans really don't want to talk about what they went through or how they experienced everything. But you did wind up a drone pilot, is that correct?
But yeah, so just a little clarification. I worked with the Predator, and I was a sensor operator. So the crew is composed of two people. There's an officer who actually pilots the aircraft, and then
Mm-hmm.
the enlisted guy operates like the camera, and there are a couple of lasers on the sensor as well. So yeah, we would. I'm sure you're familiar with like laser guided munitions. We
Mm-hmm.
would basically guide the weapons into the target, as well as like perform all the intelligence collection, which was basically that the video.
Okay, great. Wow, that's really fascinating. But you know what? Let's take a step back, and I really
Sure.
would like. How did you get there? I mean, how did this all happen to you? You got out of high school. You went to college, or what happened then?
Yeah. So I'm sure you've told yourself probably thousands of times that hindsight's 2020. So
True.
when you face like adversity, or situations maybe that you don't really enjoy like at that moment, um, you end up seeing like how those circumstances led you into your current spot in life. Um, so with that, I'll say that I feel like, there was like some guidance placed on my life that moved me into this unique position. But yeah, kind of just start back at the beginning. I did graduate high school, and didn't really have much going for me. I didn't have like the maturity, or like the personal accountability to um, go to college. Like it was the whole situation was intimidating, uh, and unfamiliar, and so I was just kind of like working at Blockbuster, and
Really,
and so
rewinding tapes.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Um, so my mom, once I turned 19, my mom was kind of like, "Well, you got to leave," um, and so I moved in with my brother for a little bit, and eventually just kind of got tired of what I was doing. I was looking for something new and exciting. Um, I originally thought about law enforcement. I went on a couple ride-alongs to just experience it and see what it was like.
Right, right.
Um, and yeah, that was pretty cool. But my dad was a lifelong Air Force officer, um, and he was encouraging me to go into the Air Force. And so I originally kind of thought about law enforcement in the Air Force. And his feedback was it's not the same.
Right,
It's not the
right,
same as like the civilian world, just kind of driving around base and you know popping people for DUIs or something like that.
right.
And yeah, so I always like fancied myself as like a smart individual. So I was like, well, I want to be military intelligence, just like a young, prideful
Okay.
kid.
And
Um,
some people say that's an oxymoron, military and intelligence. So, all right.
yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
so you had some guidance there to get into the Air Force, and you enlisted then?
Yeah, yeah. So, went and saw the recruiter, and my top choice was actually a intelligence operations analyst, and that spot didn't open up, but my second choice did, which was imagery analyst.
Mm-hmm.
So, an imagery analyst, identifies things on photos or videos from various sources, whether it's like a traditional daylight camera,
Mm-hmm.
we call it electro-optical, or like infrared sources or radar.
Wow.
um, and yeah, so that was actually my vocation when I went in.
Okay.
um, yeah, so I guess the next really milestone was basic training.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. We're going to split them up, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.